vegetarian dishes. One of the main dish, what is a spinach tofu? You can make it like vegan without using any dairy in it. But if you're not like hardcore vegan, you can use a little whipping cream at the end. So then it will be just vegetarian, not vegan though. Okay. So before we begin, if anyone has any question, you can ask. I hope you have the list of ingredients and you have all the ingredients ready. I'm hoping you all are cooking along, right? You know what, Christine, somehow I'm not able to see them. I don't know why. I see you, but I don't see them. Okay, I see their names. Okay. Somehow, maybe it's because today I'm using my phone. Usually I use my iPad. I don't know why. I don't see that grid option here.
Yeah, it might be because you're on the phone. That it's like so small you can't really see everybody's pictures. I don't know. You can click like gallery.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay. I got it. I just have to go to the next window. Sorry, I'm not that techy though. So hey everyone, I see. Oh my God, the kids love cooking, right? So I see Camila, I see Lucas. Hello everyone. And who else? Here we have Kyla and Kira. Wow, welcome to the cooking class with me. And we will be cooking something really yummy and very, very healthy. Okay, guys? So what we're gonna do first, we are going to check on the ingredients. So let's make sure, do we have everything? Today we are actually cooking 3 recipes. So the main entree is called spinach tofu. That's like a curry. It's gonna be a little liquidy with the pieces of tofu. And we can serve that with any flatbread or any rice. And we also gonna cook some fragrant rice here. That's called cumin rice. So we're gonna need some long grain basmati rice for it, which I've already washed and strained out the water. And if we are going to cook the rice in rice cooker, it's going to take a little long time. So we are going to put that first. Or if you guys are going to cook it on the stove top, that could be done quickly. Okay, so that's one of the dish, cumin rice, and another is spinach tofu. And then we're going to make a dessert also, which we are going to be cooking in the microwave. So that's going to be easy. And I see you guys will have your parents help also, because here's some heating also involved in these recipes. But you can always, help us mixing and, doing the stuff together. Hey, Kyla, I love your flags. Whoa, it's the welcome to our culture and our community kickoff. Oh my God, you have India flag too. Very good. I love it. Okay, it's so good to see that. You guys are awesome. Look at that. Very good. Okay, so guys, can we go through the ingredients? Just make sure we have everything. So for cumin rice, we will need 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, and 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of either butter or ghee, which is clarified butter. But you can use anything. If you don't have that, you can use oil also. That's okay. Yeah. So let's just do one thing at a time. So first, we are going to put the rice in rice cooker. Okay, raise your hand if you guys are cooking in the rice cooker, or if you guys are cooking rice on the stove top. Are you all cooking along or you are watching? Raise your hands if you are cooking along. Okay. Are you cooking along? Raise your hand if you're cooking along or you're just watching. Okay, I think looks like everyone is watching, right, Christine?
Yeah, it looks like everybody is watching.
Okay.
They all have the recipe, so hopefully they can go back and
Sure. So
time.
accordingly, I'll process ahead. If they're just watching, then it's easier for me. I'll just go ahead, so I don't have to look like if they are missing something or so. Okay, since we are just watching, so first thing what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with my spinach recipe. So here, let me show you all the ingredients what I'm gonna use. Okay, look at that. So here I have 5 cups of fresh green spinach, which I have washed, which is really, really healthy. Spinach is like the bank of vitamins, right? It has a lot of vitamins and minerals. So it is really good for us, okay? So here I have 5 cups of spinach, and we will need 1 12-ounce pack of tofu, which we are going to dice into small cubes. Okay, so in this, to add some flavor, we are going to add some whole spices like black pepper and some cloves and 2 bay leaves. These are totally optional. If you have handy, you can use it. If you don't have it handy, don't worry, you can still make it very yummy recipe without those whole spices. And we also going to use a little bit of cumin seeds. These are also very fragrant seeds. And if you are able to handle a little bit of spice, I'm going to add 2 Thai green chilies into it. These are super spicy, so if you can only handle, then only add. Otherwise, you can avoid using these green chilies. Okay, and we will need some chopped onions and 2 chopped tomatoes for this recipe, and of course some oil. So to begin with the recipe, we are going to move the camera close to the stove. You can see that. Now I'm going to use a heavy bottom pan here. What we are going to do, we're going to process the spinach, and the process of cooking this spinach is called wilting. So we don't have to cook it a lot. I'm just going to add a little bit of water, like 1/4 cup of water into my pan. And then I'm going to put all those 5 cups of leaves. It's about 12-ounce bag of baby spinach that I'm going to add into this pan. And it will only take about a minute or so to wilt this spinach. Okay. And we're just gonna let it cook for 1 minute. Only 1 minute. And you will see as the water boils, the spinach is gonna be like, a very little, very squishy, very little of this in volume. It's right now you see the pan is whole, pan is full of spinach. So when it wilts down, it comes to very little volume. Okay, let this water get boil, and meanwhile we can start the other preparations. Okay. So here I have the onion. I'm gonna start chopping this onion just to prepare for my spinach tofu curry. Okay, so I have this onion peeled here. Okay, now let's check on our spinach. It is getting a little less in the volume. We're just going to stir it so the whole bunch of spinach cooks evenly. Okay, you can use a little more spinach if you like a lot. You can add even more of the spinach, but I just use like 12 ounces of spinach in it. And as you see, look at this, the whole pan was full and now it has reduced the volume here. Okay, so at this point when you see it's reduced the volume, then we're gonna turn off the stove and we are going to add a little bit of ice. Okay, so what the ice does to this, it's gonna stop the cooking immediately, which will help us to retain the green color of spinach. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up some ice cubes. Here I'm gonna add about 6-7 ice cubes so that the cooking process of the spinach stops right away. Okay, now this is like one of the most important job is done, and once the spinach is all cold, then we have to grind it. Okay, so you will notice like in Indian cooking we use a lot of spices to add a little more flavor into any dish. There's a lot of spices used in Indian cookies. India is actually famous about, you know, some really great spices like, you know, the whole red chilies, the black pepper, the cumins and the cloves. India produces these spices a lot and it exports these spices to throughout the world. So in India, people use a lot of spices in all the cooking, and here we're going to use only a few of spices, but they will make these dishes very fragrant and very flavorful. Okay, so here while we are waiting for our spinach to cool down, we will come back to our recipe later, but meanwhile what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my rice to cook. So that's when our spinach is ready, at the same time our rice will also be ready. Okay, so let's begin. Here. Okay, since you guys are just watching, so I'm gonna use my rice cooker. I'm gonna put some of this 1 cup of rice into my rice cooker bowl, and we are using long grain basmati rice, which are very fragrant rice. As you can see, the grains are super duper long. These are very aromatic variety of rice. Now if you take 1 cup of rice, you have to add 2 cups of water into it. Okay, so here I'm going to measure 2 cups of water, 1 and 2, and into this I'm gonna add half teaspoon of salt. And now when I say cumin rice, we have to add the cumin seeds into this rice so that our rice gets more fragrant. What I'm gonna do is, the pan, what we are going to use for our spinach curry, in that same pan, I'm gonna put a little bit of butter, which is like about half teaspoon of butter. And we just gonna warm up that butter and splatter the cumin seeds in it, and that's how the cumin seeds give a wonderful aroma to these rice. So okay, so here the butter is melting, and when the butter melts completely, then we're going to add the cumin seeds in it. Okay. So instead of butter, we can actually use the clarified butter, which is called ghee, that has even more wonderful aroma, and that is being used a lot in Indian cooking, because the ghee is actually, it's being considered one of the kind of fat which is used in Ayurvedic diet and which is very healthy compared to other oils and other saturated fats. Now the butter is melted. I'm going to add some cumin seeds into it. About half teaspoons of cumin seeds here. And we're going to let them splutter until they become a little fragrant. Okay. You will see the butter is hot and the cumin seeds are kind of spluttering, and it is giving a nice aroma. So in about few seconds, the cumin seeds are fully aromatic now. Now I'm going to transfer these cumin seeds and the butter into my rice cooker pot. Okay. And that's it for cumin rice. We are going to put this in our rice cooker and put it onto the white rice. Here we are using long grain basmati white rice because the white rice has different flavor. It goes very well with spinach. So I'm going to put it on the rice cooker and it will be ready in about 40-45 minutes. Okay, so let's press white rice, and now this is going to be cooking, and meanwhile we will check if our spinach is cold enough. Almost, since we put the ice in it. It's almost cold, and we are going to grind it either with the hand blender or with the mixer grinder. So I am actually going to use a mixer grinder. I'm going to transfer this spinach into my grinder jar. Still a little hot. Okay, so we can wait a little to grind this. And meanwhile, we will prepare the other stuff. Okay, let this spinach sit for about 2 to 3 minutes more so that it gets completely dry, completely cool. The point of making it cool down, because if you grind the hot spinach, when you put it in the grinder, it's gonna splatter all over, and it can come on you also. So you have to be really, really careful when you cook, right? First thing, you have to make sure that it is safe what you are doing. So we have to wait before we grind. It has to cool down completely. Okay, and meanwhile we are going to prepare the other spices for the curry. So if you are not using the whole spices, these two are your magic ingredients which are going to give a lot of flavor into your dish. So that's garlic and that's ginger. It's been used a lot in Indian cooking. So we are going to have a little paste of garlic and ginger. About half teaspoon of each. Okay, so here this garlic clove is really huge, and I'm gonna take some ginger. Now this ginger I'm gonna peel off. You see the peel on the ginger, so I have to remove this peel. And I do have a little instrument which can crush this ginger and garlic nicely. So it's gonna make a little noise, but it's fun. The kids will always love to do this thing. I was thinking like kids are cooking together. So you know you can make a little paste of ginger and garlic using this mortar and pestle. Okay. This is the fun part, guys, believe me, okay? Okay. So here I have my ginger and garlic paste ready. Look at that, it's coarsely grind. And now we are going to chop some onions. Okay, so I'm gonna move my camera a little so that you have a little better view. What I'm doing is I'm gonna fine chop these onions. I'm gonna move the pan though. Okay, so you have to fine chop these onions. Okay. Now this part, you kids, please don't do it yourself. Whenever you are doing, you have to do it with your parents, okay? So, and we're gonna chop rest half of the onion. Okay, now this onion is ready to saute, but before we saute onion, in the same pan, we are going to saute our tofu cubes. So let's get the tofu cut into small cubes. So here, I just opened my tofu and I'm just gonna pat dry with the paper towel. Tofu is very healthy alternate of any kind of protein, which is we usually get from meat, but if you are vegetarian, you can get that from tofu. So I'm gonna cut this tofu in small cubes. Now this is the fun part. Kids can always participate in this process because the tofu does not require any sharp knife. You can cut the tofu with the butter knife. So I'm just gonna do some dice. Okay. Another alternative of tofu is called paneer, which is also called cottage cheese. and it is very popular in Indian cooking. If you go to Indian restaurants, you get the paneer butter masala or paneer tikka. There are a lot of dishes, palak paneer. There's a lot of dishes prepared with the paneer. But instead of paneer, you can always use the tofu in all those preparations. Okay. So before we put the tofu in the pan, we have to put like half tablespoon of oil, and then I'm gonna put these tofu cubes into the pan. Oops, you hear the sizzle. Now what are we doing? We are going to saute these tofu cubes. So once you saute them, they become more flavorful. And then we use them in the gravy. Okay. So let these tofu cubes saute a little. And meanwhile, let's check on our onion. Now this, and let's check on our spinach. This is like cool enough to put in the grinder. Now before we put this into the grinding thing, I'm gonna add these spicy thingies in it. If you can handle, then only use this. Okay, so I'm gonna add these 2 green chilies roughly chopped into this spinach to grind it together. Okay, and let's just keep on stirring on the tofu pieces so that we don't want to make them burn. Okay. Just gonna slightly saute them. Just kind of flip them, or you can just toss them a little so that the whole tofu cubes get coated in the oil. And let this tofu get more golden on the pan, and meanwhile I'm gonna grind the spinach. Okay, so I'll be back in few seconds. My mixer is on the other side, and pardon the noise, it's gonna be a little noisy for 10 seconds. Okay guys, stay there. Okay, look at this beautiful green puree here. It's because we added the ice cubes to stop the cooking process. It is even more green. Yeah. Okay, now that's ready. Let's check on the tofu. There we go. It might need another minute to get a little more golden. The Indian food is actually very versatile. You can kind of substitute of many items in the cooking, with some other vegetarian option if you are vegetarian. And India also has a very rich culture of food. There are so many festivals. We the main thing, the main essence of celebrating all the festival in India is all about food and get together with the family. There's a lot, all these festivals have some specific kind of recipes associated with all these festivals. Like spring festivals have different kind of the recipes, because as spring begins in India, the temperature gets warm, so we cook the recipes which kind of give you the cooling effects. There's a very famous drink, it's called thandai, that is made in spring, that's made out of milk and with some dry fruits and some spices in it. It is a sweet drink and it's very yummy. It's called thandai, and that is specifically made in the months of spring and summer. The tofu is turning the color to golden now. We don't have to make it brown, just have to turn a little golden. That's it. And then we're gonna start preparing our spinach gravy. Okay, that changes the color a little bit. Now I can see it's turning to a little golden. And I'm going to remove these tofu cubes into a separate plate, and we are going to use the same pan for cooking our spinach gravy. So this recipe actually called for 2 tablespoons of oil. So we use half tablespoon of oil for sauteing tofu, and 1.5 tablespoon of oil we are going to use to cook our gravy. So this here, 1.5 tablespoon of oil here, and into this again cumin seeds we are going to use. The pan is already hot. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds and let them splatter. See, as soon as you put in the oil, they start splattering here and there. Just let them splatter for about 10 seconds, and that gives a wonderful aroma. And then we're gonna add these 2 bay leaves, 2 cloves. Those are very aromatic spice, and cloves have a lot of medicinal values also. So I'm gonna just put 2 of these cloves, crushing their head, and we're gonna put like 4 to 5 black peppercorn in it. Okay. Now here you may want to use a lid, because sometimes these black peppercorn just pops out and it might be a little risky. So just cover your pan with a lid. And yes, wonderful aroma coming. Oh, I wish the video conferencing have another sensation of smelling the dish also. So now you see it's all these spices are brown and very aromatic. Now I'm going to add the onion into it. So here's our chopped onion. Ooh, be careful with this stuff. This is your parents are going to do. You can help them chopping, but don't put them in the oil. So that part, let your parents do. Then you can help them in stirring. Okay. There we go. Let this onion set till it gets a little transparent. And we are going to chop 2 tomatoes here to add more flavor to the dish. So here we are chopping 2 tomatoes. Not very fine because it's going to get cooked. Okay, so that was 1 tomato I chopped. And let's check on our onion. We have to get it slightly golden and transparent. So it's gonna take like about 2 to 3 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm gonna cut my other tomato. There we go. Okay, the onion looks kind of ready. Now at this point, we are going to add our ginger and garlic paste to it. And then we're gonna saute again for about 30 seconds. So I'm adding my ginger and garlic paste. And let it saute for another 30 minutes. And the aroma of ginger and garlic is coming along. And just about 10 more seconds on medium flame. Now I'm gonna add tomatoes into this dish. So all these large tomatoes goes into it. And into these tomatoes, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt so that it cooks faster. Okay, let's mix in the salt and cook it for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's cover it so that it cooks faster. Okay, meanwhile, I'm just gonna keep the extra stuff aside and then I'm gonna show you the dessert preparation. So while our tomatoes are cooking, I'm gonna show you what 2 ingredients we are going to use to make our dessert. So one is ricotta cheese. We're gonna use 16-ounce tub of ricotta cheese. And this is a very easy recipe. Kids can also cook. This is being done in microwave. And we're gonna use 14-ounce can of condensed milk. 2 ingredients, the 2 main ingredients. And the third ingredient is called cardamom, which is optional. This is another Indian spice which has a very sweet aroma into it. When you add these cardamom powder, these are cardamom pods. So you have to like open up these pods and take out the seeds inside. And these seeds are used in all kind of Indian desserts. You see that these seeds inside. So these we usually crush and add into our sweet preparations at the end, and it gives a wonderful aroma. Okay, so here I have already kept these seeds crushed ready here. Let's check on the tomatoes. Okay, maybe another minute on medium flame. It gets kind of squishy and get together. So what the Indian dessert we are going to make, it's called kalakan, or you can call it, it's like a milk fudge. So to prepare this, use ricotta cheese, 16-ounce and 14-ounce can of condensed milk, and you need a glass dish which is microwave safe. So I have this. Sorry guys. Sorry, what happened to my phone? It slipped from the tripod. Okay, there we go. We are back. Okay, so to make our dessert, this is the 16-ounce ricotta cheese in a glass dish. And into this, I'm gonna open this whole can of condensed milk and add to ricotta cheese while our tomatoes are cooking. So we are simultaneously preparing for our dessert because otherwise we'll be out of time. So here's the condensed milk. I'm just gonna pour it in my ricotta cheese. The whole can goes in. This dish is very simple to cook and it's super yummy. Everyone is gonna love it. It's so simple, just 2 ingredients, not too much hassle. Okay. Now we use either a whisk or a spatula to mix this ricotta cheese and the condensed milk properly. Okay, here we go. You can see it better here. So we just have to mix it together till all the condensed milk incorporates in this ricotta cheese. Okay, and this is done. It's mixed well. Now in this there are the whole dish is gonna be cooked in microwave, but in the installments, like it's not gonna get cooked in one shot. So we have to put in the microwave for a couple of times, at least 4 times, and then take it out and stir it back. So this glass dish goes in microwave and we're gonna cover it so that it does not splutter in your microwave. And then we're gonna run the microwave for 5 minutes. And meanwhile, now our tomatoes should be ready. So I'm coming back on tomatoes. Yes, that looks ready now. Okay, we already added salt in it. There are some spices already in it. Now what are we gonna do? We're just gonna add the spinach puree, what we have ready. Okay. I wanna show you the consistency of this. We should be we can cook for another minute or something to get it more smoothie texture. So let's just stir in a little more to get the whole tomatoes incorporate with onion and come like the puree. Let's just cook it for another minute. The ginger and garlic, the whole spices smells so good in this tomato mixture. Nice and sizzling. Okay, I think it's been a minute and now we should be adding our tomato spinach puree in it. So let's put all the green in it. That's gonna be super yummy. Look at this. How does the red and green look together? Looks awesome, right? It smells good too. Now we're gonna mix it. and we are going to add a little bit of water in it to adjust the consistency. We need this gravy consistency like a pancake batter. Right now it's a little thicker. So what I'm gonna do, you guys remember that spinach we wilted in the pan, we have some water left from there. So now we are going to use this water in the gravy. So we are not going to waste any of the nutrients from the spinach. And that will make it perfect consistency. Get that? We might be able to add a little bit of more water in it. So because we are gonna let it cook for another 2-3 minutes. So what I'm gonna do, put about 1/4 cup of water in it. Okay, and we are going to add all of the tofu in it. This nice and golden tofu. Look at this. It's already smelling so good. There are not too many spices used in this recipe, but it still is so flavorful just because of the bay leaves what we use, the cumin seed, that gives a nice aroma. Now let it cook on like low to medium flame for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then it will be ready. But at the end, we are going to add a little bit of cream. If you want to make it like a vegan version, you can add 1 tablespoon of coconut cream. Like, you know, the canned coconut milk can you get, and the top part, which is like a thick cream. So you can add 1 tablespoon of that thick coconut cream. Or you can add heavy whipping cream or sour cream if you are not making it vegan. Okay, now the 5 minutes are done to our dessert in the microwave, and at this point I have to take it out and stir it and put it back again for another 5 minutes. So you have to be careful, it's going to be a little hot here. Okay, one second. Okay, so make sure you use the oven mitt and something else to support. Do not take it out without the mitt on. Now here we have to stir in and cook it again for another 5 minutes. Let me give you a closer look. Here it's still hot, so don't rush. Look at this. If you see on the sides, it's started becoming like thick. So we have to mix it well and cook it again for another 5 minutes. Stir in properly. Okay, and this goes for another 5 minutes in microwave. Okay, meanwhile, let's check on our spinach. It is sizzling and it looks almost ready. But we're gonna let it cook for another minute, and then we're gonna add the cream in it at the end. So this recipe is super simple to cook on a weeknight dinner, because it doesn't take too much and it is quite healthy and very satiating. Okay. So now let's add our cream. It's 1 tablespoon of coconut cream I'm using so that this whole recipe is vegan. I'm gonna add that into the recipe. And just mix it well and cook it for another minute. And when you stir in the cream, you see the spinach gravy is becoming a little lighter. But it's gonna give this gravy a little more brighter green color. And just let it cook for a few more seconds so that all the flavors come along, the whole spices, the spinach and tomato and ginger and garlic and this coconut cream to make it more rich. Okay, we just let it cook for a few seconds. And our dessert in the microwave is still cooking, which is gonna take another, I believe 7-8 more minutes. And meanwhile, our rice are also cooking. Okay. Okay, now at this point, I'm gonna turn off the stove for the spinach. It looks perfect and ready to serve. I'm just gonna wait for the rice to cook. It has another 8-9 minutes left. And the dessert, the milk fudge is in the microwave, which is cooking. So this dessert has name Kalakand. It's only 2 ingredients, but there are so many other desserts in India. Those are super popular and famous. Most of the Indian desserts are made out of dairy, and some of the desserts are made out of grains. And so super yummy, and all the desserts have some kind of significance with the seasons and the festivals. Like in the winters, we prepare so many kind of energy balls which are made out of nuts and dates and the flours, the grains, which are considered to have warm properties to keep you warm in the winter. And I do have some recipes on my blog and also on my Facebook page. You guys can check it out. Right now we are waiting for the springy dessert, which is not on the warmer properties in the dessert, but it is very satisfying and it gives a cooling effect to your body. Let's see. After 5 minutes, how does it look? And then we have to stir it again and cook it again for another 2 minutes. You guys are already done with your dinner and all? Kyla and Camila, and who else we have? Here we have Lucas. I think you guys are done with dinner. Yay, good, good kids. You guys finish your dinner on time? Okay, now let me put on my mitten and let's take it out and check how does it look. Okay. So there we go. Now I'm gonna use my whisk again, and you can see this is getting thicker on the sides, but it's still liquidy in the middle, right? So we have to stir in one more time and then cook it for 2 minutes. And then we're gonna stir in again and then cook it for another 2 minutes, and then it will be done. Okay, and meanwhile this is cooking, I can tell you a story, you guys. Okay, if you guys are interested to listen a story which is related to the spring festival in India. Okay, so let's put this back for 3 minutes. Okay. So guys, the spring season is coming up, and there's a very famous, okay, Kyla and Kira, bye, thank you for joining in. Is there anyone there so I tell the story, or if no one, then we just kind of wait to get our dessert done? Are you guys gonna be here, Camila? Or you're leaving? You're here? Okay, so there is a very okay. There is a very famous festival on the spring season in India. Is celebrated with lots of colors. That festival is called Holi. Can you try to say that word, Holi? Holi is the festival of colors, and it is a spring festival. So there are a couple of stories related to the festival. There was a boy named Krishna who used to have some magical powers in it. And that boy used to be very friendly with cows, and he used to play flute. His name was Krishna. He used to play with his friends. But you know what happened once? When they were playing in the river banks, there was a very poisonous snake came into the river. And that snake started putting their venom in the river, and then everybody in the town got scared that if the water is going to be, poisonous, all our pets are going to die, we are going to die. So the people of that town, they requested Krishna to send that snake away. So that snake was a multi-headed snake. So Krishna asked him that, you just leave our town, let us live nicely, don't make it poisonous. But the snake was not ready to go. So Krishna kind of fought with that snake. He kicked him and hit him and something, and then the snake, squished the Krishna very tightly into the coil, and then he was not ready to leave. But somehow the Krishna, collected all the energies together, and then he jumped off from the snake's grip, and then he jumped into the water. But while fighting with the snake, some of his poisonous gases came onto Krishna, and that made Krishna a dark blue color. The skin color of Krishna was dark blue. So when he came out and he started playing with his friend, he saw, like, I look a little different than these friends. So, okay, let's check on our dessert and then we continue on the story. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty ready. Only one more time we have to put in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then it will be ready. Okay, so last 2 minutes on this dessert. And we were on the Krishna's story. So Krishna, he used to feel a little weird that, okay, why am I like dark blue color and the other friends are fair? So what do we do? So he used to kind of whining every day with his mom. So mom said why on a springy day, he was like whining. So mom said, why don't you do one thing? You pick up some colors, some dry colors, and then you smear those colors on all your friends' faces. So then everybody looks same color. So Krishna did, oh wow, that's a wonderful idea. And then he went to the market and he picked up all the dried powder color and he called all his friends to the park, and then he smeared those different colors, the red, the pink, the yellow, the green, the orange and purple. He used all different colors and he smeared all different colors to his friend's face. So that's how the tradition started. And all the friends looked the same color and Krishna was so happy. Now everybody looks at the same color, and that day is celebrated as Holi. And that's why it is called the festival of color, which is coming always in March, in the season of spring. And that also brings a lot of energy and the positivity after those dark winter months. So the Holi is actually celebrated in India. There's a place which is called Mathura, which is Krishna's birthplace. So there it's celebrated more. So Holi is actually the festival of the northern India part. So I think we should be ready. Now we can start plating our dish.
We have to leave in 5 minutes.
Sorry, what you said, Camila?
We have to leave in 5 minutes.
It's done. Everything is done. Our dessert is done. Let me take that out. And our rice are done. And our spinach is done. Okay, let's see. Now this dessert is right now very hot. If you have to eat it right now, then you have to eat it with a spoon. But otherwise, what happens? I let it cool at the room temperature for like half an hour, and then I put it in the refrigerator for another half an hour. You see how these grains are coming? It was so liquidy, but now it is like kind of solidifying, like a cookie dough kind of consistency you need. And oops, it's ready. Right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna let it cool down on the room temperature, kind of flatten it. Where is my flattening spatula? Here. Okay, so we are going to flatten it out and let it set. Once you put it in the refrigerator for half an hour, then you can cut it like milk fudge, like small square bite-sized pieces. You can cut it out. Oh, at this point, though, the most flavorful ingredient, the cardamom, we're going to add to this. Okay, here our rice are ready. Okay, let's just make it smooth. And after putting it in refrigerator, then we can cut it out. So if you are making it yourself, then you have to make sure that you don't cut it when it is warm. When it gets cold, then you put it in the refrigerator, and after taking out from refrigerator, then you can cut it into small square pieces. So this is absolutely ready to go in the refrigerator, which I'm putting aside. And our rice are ready too. So the food what you cook, you should kind of try to serve interestingly with the special dishes. So Indian food is usually served in metal dishes. You see this dish, this is called a kadai. So when you go in Indian restaurants, sometimes you might see, which is like, inside is a different metal, which is steel, and outside is like a copper, which looks a little fancy. So we're gonna serve our spinach tofu in it. That is ready. There you go. And I'm gonna get a bowl for rice. And this is such a simple recipe. You can please your guests with that. Look at this. The rice are ready too. You see all the cumin came on top. Look at this. And it's very fragrant. Yum. So we just put that rice into another serving dish. Look at that long rice grains. Really, really long. How cool it is. It is super simple to cook these recipes and, you know, please your guests, your friends, your family. You can cook with your family. Cooking should be like a celebration, like, you know, everybody should be part of the process of cooking, and then the whole family enjoys the dinner together, right? There we go. This is all ready. I wish I can, you know, offer you guys to taste it. But I believe that you guys have the recipe with you. So sometime you will be trying with your family to cook. Thank you for joining in, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And happy spring. Just 10 more days. Countdown begins. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That was great.
You're welcome, Christine. I was like kind of prepared with the cook along session. So had I known that it's going to be only recorded, nobody's going to cook along, then I could have, you know, planned that way. It might have taken a little less time.
Yeah, that's okay. I was hoping more people would do the cooking along with you, but I guess nobody went to the grocery store.
Yeah, I know. And then it makes, you know, sometimes a little challenging in weekdays. So, you know, sometimes if it is on weekend, it's easier for more people to join in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah. So how long you stay at the library? Are you at library or at home?
Yep, I'm at the library right now. We're open until 8, so I'll leave at 8 o'clock.
Oh, wow. That's long hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's everything otherwise?
Good. We have
good in your family?
fun cultural programs lined up for the next few weeks, so I'm excited about that. This was a good kickoff for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it will be fun. I'm excited.
So you're covering so many countries?
Yes. Yeah, I think we have 9.
Okay. So all the programs are going to be like stories and the crafts, or there'll be more cooking?
So
the different countries.
The cooking, and then the next few weeks are going to be story times that are bilingual. And then our like closing session is going to be like a dancing.
Oh wow, that is gonna be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah. Fun.
So you're gonna be using like different countries' songs and music for the dancing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'm sure you must be, adding the Indian songs. Those are like most popular dancing songs, the Bollywood songs.
Yes. Oh, those are so fun. Love
Yeah.
the Bollywood dance.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Christine. Nice to meet you virtually. I wish sometime we can, see in person.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do something like this at the library when.
That might be even more interesting, right? Yeah. And then I do a lot of cooking which is like no flame involved, no sharp knife involved, so that those kind of stuff you can do at the library and everybody can participate.
Oh, nice. Cool.
The kids. Yeah. So okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Enjoy rest of your evening. Take care. Stay safe.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.